I sound a little sick, it's because I was sick, and also I just spent the past like 5 minutes crying about the Ichi the Witch chapter. Thinking about it is still making me really emotional. But that's a series for me. We're here for Kagurabachi today, which was the polar opposite of Ichi the Witch this week, which is a lot of Shonen Jump's so good sometimes, you know? Except that they gave me a copyright strike, so there's not going to be any footage in this video. It's just going to be me sitting here rambling to a screen because they're mean and, despite making good art, want me to suffer. But Kagurabachi 116, we're getting the lore, more lore, more lore. We get a peek at the kind of hierarchical society of it all, and Chiaki, who looks pretty good, but unsurprisingly is I don't want to say cliche, but I kind of do, where she's the princess who's trapped in her tower because she's important, but then Kunishige's there and they're exchanging letters and they have their little secret romance that like they wouldn't call a romance, but like it's definitely a romance. And then there's all the people from the clan who are like, no, you can't love him, he's a normal guy, a freak, but like I don't care, I'll eat that up any day of the week. But it does a very good job of setting up just how much the Soga clan is really like, they are that guy. They are the big group. You see all the clans are kind of wrapped around them as basically like the biggest thing. You even get to see Sazanami. You can get to see Kyora. He's there, looking a little younger, but like honestly, I can hardly tell the difference. And then we get the prophecy. The talks are gonna start happening. But those talks clearly at some point break down. Do we know when? Not at the moment, but presumably soon. The order is still there, but it is very obvious the order is going to start falling apart. But the interesting thing is that Chiaki was not always the symbol priestess lady, where it's like she's kind of just like a random look. She's a servant until a bit, but then she like all of a sudden gets it because the other one died of it. It's like, interesting. What happened here? But then in turn, you see young Soga, who just really loves his sister, which means some bad thing is gonna happen to Chiaki, which is already kind of obvious. We kind of figured that out a while ago. But the purity in his eyes, the like earnest little, I gotta be stronger to protect my sister and just be the best and be all of that. But ultimately, he is 16. He is a child, which also can factor into how he gets that bed because, you know, he's a child. His brain is not fully developed. He's very clearly not the evil man yet. He's just a kid who wants to protect his sister. But alas. Then we get to all the fun romance stuff. We get to see Chiaki be kind of a silly little girl. You know, a person who lived a normal life until 2 years ago and is still very much not used to being a symbol, a important figure. And clearly is still trying to resist that with sending letters through Shiba to each other because, you know, they're in love. Let's be real here. Of course, on the flip side, there's Kunishige who's like, no, I don't want to like go deal with this. And I'm like, really? Come on, buddy. Let's get this show on the road, pal. A guy like me should just live for the sword. Yeah, okay. Even Shiba calls it out. He's like, blah, you're boring. Because of course. They're both still people. They should be able to find love, and Mr. Matchmaker Shiba is fully willing to support that. And I think that's good of him. He's a little gremlin sometimes, but he does care about the people in his life, which is very good characterization, and that he's willing to be real with them, but also help push them in directions instead of just stagnating and doing their things. He's great. He's a good plot propulsion guy and also just a fun guy because he makes silly faces and clearly is having the time of his life. But as the chapter ends, we go back to the Datenseki, the big elephant in the room, where the people from Shokoku come on shore and are going to talk about mining Datenseki, which, judging by their vibe, my prediction is either A, talks break down and somebody dies or they kill someone, B, talks break down and they break down and a declaration of war or something comes out from Shokoku. Or C, the option I think will probably not happen, is they just let them mine it freely, or they become into a contract because like the way the Shokoku people have been built up is this kind of mysterious force, and I highly doubt that they're willing to just say, here's all our resources, come on buddy, come on aboard guys, let's have a grand old time. I just don't think that's gonna happen. At the end of it all, there is a war at some point, and I could see the war over natural resources, you know, a thing that has happened countless times in history, being a thing that happens. But I think at best, maybe it like kind of works and then it breaks down because of a thing, but who can say? For now, great chapter, a good build-up chapter again. We're kind of in that part of the story now where we've entered a new arc and we're kind of building to the things, which is fine and good, and you should do that because obviously you want to. But Hokusono's been very good about building the kind of mystique, well, like the humor, and kind of weaving us along on the journey where we know something is going to happen. There is an elephant in the room that will eventually hit and to be addressed, but for now we are still in the forming stages. So that is that. And today we get the special recommendation of read Ichi the Witch because I spent like 5 minutes crying about this recent chapter. It was just so good. And it has a rare moment in Shonen Jump, and just manga in general, where I don't even need to see it. I just think about it and it gets me emotional because I'm not looking at it right now. I have Kagurabachi still pulled up on my iPad where I look down and read to reference things while I talk. And it was a beautiful moment. Genuinely a special series that I think if you're gonna read 3 things in Shonen Jump right now, besides Kagurabachi and One Piece, because you should be reading that anyways. It's Ichi the Witch, Akane Banashi, and then probably Shinobi Undercover. Actually, no, Someone Hurts. That's the one. I was looking at it and then I looked and I was like, oh, like 4 of these are gonna end soon. Like half the series here are about to end. But yeah, Kagurabachi, great chapter, but unfortunately you were upstaged by Ichi the Witch this week because I cried my eyes out reading it. But still a good chapter, and I look forward to next week.